What is up, guys? Tomcat here, and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4, where today we are going to be building a drift car out of a Lamborghini Murcielago SV. Now, this may be slight sacrilege, but we're going to attempt it anyway, and we're going to see what actually happens. And I think I'm going to go for it in orange because it's gorgeous in orange. But I don't know if you can put a drift suspension on this car. I don't know what the actual upgrade hero kit for it is. So we'll find out all these things very, very shortly because it is one of my favorite supercars of all time. It's a genuine beast of a car. And I can't wait to see. All right, let's see. Body kit preset 1. Liberty Walk. Okay, that makes sense. Good God, the wing. Good God. You go from the stock wing to that. That's like a Murcielago RGT. That's ridiculous. But we're not going to do the pre-made kit like we always as we always do, we always build it ourselves to the specs that we want. So we're going to start with the suspension. And drift is an option. Yes. So sway bars are going to be a thing. So is race weight reduction, bringing us down to like just under 3,200 pounds, like 3,184. And a fully built drivetrain is not going to happen just yet because we have a drivetrain conversion to do because this is becoming rear-wheel drive. But we also, while we're here, we will throw the Liberty Walk wide body kit on it. And we will also be twin turboing the car. So this is where it gets quite interesting because, okay, let's see. We can leave the stock rear wing. We can go with the massive Liberty Walk rear wing. Or we can go with the Forza wing, which just looks way too small no matter how you cut it. So we're going with the Liberty Walk wing because, I mean, this is one of those go big or go home cars. You can't just not go big with this car. So we'll leave the stock tire compound because it's basically like sport tires. Max width in the front at a 295. The rear can go to a 375, but we're not going to go that wide. We're going to go to like a 345 just because I would rather not have to fight the back to, you know, to actually get some slip angle out of it. And wheels-wise, we could almost run 1552s, but they don't really work as well as I would want them to. You know what I mean? Like they don't really lend themselves as well to the car as I would prefer. So we want something that's like a little bit weird, a little bit different. Turbo Max on a wide body Murcielago SV. That would be so odd, so different, yet I don't think it would be a bad idea. I think I'm going to run the Turbo Max. And you know what? Or the Tarmax. Oh, let's run the Tarmax. They just look beefy. They look crazy. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go, those are so ugly, but they're not actually that bad. I mean, like, I don't know. Have some variety to the way you build cars. Have some variety to the type of wheels that you run, you know, because if you run the same wheels every single time, then it kind of gets stale, you know what I mean? So let's see, 1375, and final power figure, 1435 horsepower, and 1,057 foot-pounds of torque. So that is going to be the build, minus the tune, obviously, because we need to do that. Because I'm sure this thing is going to be a little bit different. I mean, it won't be that bad to tune, I don't think. But I am going to add... Oh, crap. We forgot to do the built drivetrain because I do want to be able to mess with the gears if we want to do that. And we need a built clutch. We need a built clutch, and we need the built trans primarily because I want the shift times. Because this is one of those things where, like, when you run manual with clutch, if you try to shift it, like, too fast without the race clutch, it will just make you grind gears every time, and that's always annoying. That's always, like, super annoying. It's just one of those things where it's like, you hear the gear grind noise, and you're just like, oh god, cringe. So, let's go right to the tuning area, and then we'll get, we'll probably do like 410 to start. There we go, 410 to start with. And a little bit of toe out in the front. We'll do a little bit more negative camber in the rear. And the sway bar in the back is getting, like, super stiffened to about, we'll just set it at 50. And springs, those seem good. Let's see, ride height's already max low. And the diff is going 100% on acceleration, 75% on decel is fine. So spend just a tiny bit of time in the paint shop. Tiny bit of time, not too much time. So, because I want to do a little bit of a different color on the wheels. And once I've done that, kind of want to do, yeah, that looks much better. That just works with the color scheme. And then I do want to put one sticker on the car, just one, and I want it to go on the back bumper, and I do this with some of my drift builds. You guys have seen it if you've watched some of my other drift build videos, so you might know what's about to happen, but we're going to go ahead and throw our sticker, or one of our stickers, let's see, on the rear bumper. And let's see. And it's not the best, like, design by any means. I mean, I made it. So, like, and I am not a, like, Forza painter or anything like that. So, it is what it is. But we actually kind of have to make it small just because of the fact that, like, there's not really that much place to put it. Like, to be brutally honest, there's really very little place to put it, but it can just kind of, like, sit there and be discreet, you know what I mean? It can kind of just, like, sit there and be, like, off on its own, and you wouldn't really notice it unless you were right up behind the car anyway, that you wouldn't notice that it's got a send it sticker, because, but the thing is, like, isn't building a rear-wheel drive swapped Lamborghini, like, Lamborghini Murcielago with twin turbos, you know, and a full drift suspension, like, isn't that kind of like the epitome, like, in real life anyway? That would be the epitome of sending it. That would genuinely be the epitome of sending it. Like, you would, you know, you wouldn't care how often you had to fix the thing because you would just be having a blast with how it drove. All right, let's see what you can do. Okay, so it gets grip in 5th. At least grip in a straight line in 5th. Let's hit this drift zone. I kind of hate the fact that it's night. Oh, I really want to wait for it to be daytime now. Here we go. It sounds so crazy. Always thought this V12 sounded angrier than the Aventador V12. I also need to remember that, like, to not be concerned about like, whether or not it can recover from angle or not, because it's got the angle kit, it's got the drift suspension, it's just, I'm not used to, you know, throwing a big V12 supercar into corners like this with a lot of angle, because generally, they won't be able to recover, you know what I'm saying? Like, genuinely, generally, that's a type of thing that these cars can't recover from because of their massive, like because of their size and because they have very little to no steer. Well, not necessarily no steering angle, because that would be impossible. The car would never drive. But they have very little steering angle from the factory, and so doing stuff like this is really hard, but not in this car. And it's so satisfying just to hear that sound. Oh, there's the edge of the road. Oh, that's not a satisfying sound when you go through a fence. It's definitely hooked up in 5th. You have to kind of, you have to kind of be careful with it, because the way the weight is balanced, if you throw it into a corner, like, too hard, it will just basically carry itself further and further towards the outside, and that's kind of because of, like I said, the weight distribution of the car, and with it being mid-engine, it's not going to recover quite as quickly, so you do have to be a little bit careful when you're entering at, like, you know, with big angle. If you're entering with big angle, you can recover it, you just got to make sure you give yourself the time to recover it. And you will also be spending some considerable time on the... Oh, that was going to be so good. That was going to be so good, but you will spend some considerable time on the rev limiter. I didn't want to rewind and lose my combo. I was like, we already got it going. We might as well let it be. Come on. Let it go. Oh, there it is. To be brutally honest, like, unless the sun is going down, the sun should be up by the time we're done with this drift run. It's a fun car. Like, it's a genuinely fun car. Like, I'm having a blast with it. And it's a lot more forgiving than I thought it would be. It's genuinely, like, super forgiving with this setup. You gotta be careful sometimes on how much angle you throw it into a corner with, but it's not bad. It's nothing that anybody with, like, even moderate drift experience couldn't handle. And I think that's just kind of like, just because of the fact that I did make the rear super stiff, so it's gonna have a tendency to slide anyway, but, woo! See, even, like, in, like, under direction change, it's not bad. It's really not bad at all. It's no front-engine car by any means, like, but, and I also, this is something I was concerned about, the kind of all-wheel driviness is gone, which I was concerned that it was going to, like, try to stick around a little bit, but no, it's gone, in the best way possible. Oh, God. Oh, well, the speed zone's going to suck, but that's not what I was here for. I was here for the like, the combo, but, oh, God, that's going to be bad. Oh. See, that's what happens when you throw it in too hot with that big, heavy V12 in the back. If you throw it in too hot with the big, heavy V12, dude, it's going to just sling you off the side of the road. And that's admittedly something that you're not going to get out of a lot of drift cars, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason why a lot of people don't drift big V12 Lamborghinis. So let's go ahead and spin it around before we head back the other way and see what we can do on the way back down the hill. Yeah, there's fifth. I mean, if you are really good with just whoa, that's terminal angle. Okay, so this car has its quirks. I'll admit, this car has its quirks. You know, I feel like I'm being a little sloppy with it, to be honest, but, like, I think I'm trying to drive it like one of my, 240s or Mustangs or something, and you can't drift it like that. You just can't. You have to approach the concept with a different mindset and a different idea. Otherwise, it will just like bite you, and then it will kind of spit you back out again. But see, if you're like just a little bit more gentle with it, it's so smooth. It's very, very smooth, actually. It's super rewarding. There we go, dude. Oh, God, we're going to lose that combo. There we go. I hate how they kind of almost punish you for carrying on a drift too long. They're like, yeah, no, you're not allowed to score anymore. Like, I see why they do it, because there's certain, like, I could see how people could try to, like, take advantage of it or use it as, like, a exploit, but still. Like, if you're carrying on a drift that long, you should be able to just keep carrying it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Got to get the front brakes, load the front end up. There we go. Oh, when you get into a situation like that, transfer the weight to the front. Try to get some grip up there. And, like, a little bit of hoping and praying, but you should be able to kind of get yourself out of it. It's no Formula D car by any means, but it is effective enough to be fun. See, it's not bad. And, like, once it's loaded up, it's great. Like, once it's loaded up in a corner, it's great. It's just, it's a car that you have to kind of keep your eye on. Because really, at the end of the day, it is a big V12 Lamborghini, and there's just certain characteristics of being a big V12 Lamborghini that you can't take out of it. And I wouldn't want to take them out, because those are the characteristics that make this car what it is. I don't want this thing to drift like a 240 or a Mustang or a, like a Camaro or something like that. I don't want it to drift like, cars that we drift all the time anyway, because then it would not be any sort of, like, great, you know, different experience. It would just kind of be like drifting a 240 in a Lamborghini suit, you know what I mean? And this is not drifting some other car in, like, a supercar suit. This is drifting a supercar, and that's what you feel like you're doing when you slide this car around. I was originally thinking about, like, just gonna keep going straight, but I think I'm just gonna, like, spin around, get a big burnout the other way, head back the direction we came, and then I'm gonna call it there. I'm not gonna try and set any records in this car, but, oh man, for just a different, like, a fun, different, surprising drift car, like, absolutely badass. Like, I will definitely revisit this car again, and I will use it not just in in videos or even in just this video, but I'm gonna use this car, like, on my, like, just personal time when I'm just playing the game. This is gonna be one of my drift cars that I just use for fun, because it is just that fun. Rode out the e-brake a little bit. Was effective, though. And it does actually transition so smoothly. Oh, there's terminal angle. It's like, once you reach it, it is not a soft limit. It is a hard limit when you reach it, but it takes a while to get there. But at the same time, if you throw it in like you throw in a 240, then you're gonna kind of be hitting it immediately. But yeah, no, I love this car. I absolutely love this car, and I highly recommend building one. If you guys want to copy this setup, feel free to, because it's a genuine blast to drive. But if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to click that like button. Tell me in the comments below what y'all thought of it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Talk to you guys later.